This is Rock's winning workout without weights, and it's a beginning exercise program, and my friend Zara is going to be the demonstrator, and we're going to go through this exercise routine. And you can follow along with this exercise routine, the beginning part of it, and then later we'll show you some exercises you won't be able to follow along with. The last exercise for the calves is called jumping up and down, and follow along with Zara. He's going to do 10 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4.
This is a great question, Darlene. Darlene, thank you for this question. He is great. He is fantastic. He was not in his car when that stuff happened, but I appreciate you asking. Love you to death. Hope you have a lot of pens nearby, hon. This is going to be a fun one. Let's go.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to have my friend Doral Silverthorne's going to talk about the relationship with fitness and the Bible.
The scripture says, "Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God." We got to be pure in our bodies. You've got to give the physical strength, and you've got to eat proper food. I wish to say that our government is a two-faced hypocrite.
The next thing we're going to do, we're going to have a foot race between Czar and Big Zaddy.
On your mark, get set, go!
I know. I'd like to thank all my friends that came over to put this exercise tape together, and Doral's going to donate 20% of his profit to charity to his.
If you guys didn't know, this is actually, we just did this the other day. These are all my friends. We just had some really old equipment. This is my peepaw. He is donating 20% to the Karen Reed Fund. I know he says something else, but they just screwed up. They were in a mood. You know what I mean? And I'd like to thank all of you who came here from Aunt Deborah's Freak Off today. I appreciate you. I know that you saw my buddy Nick Rocco in there just fucking hosing her, just spraying her. But listen, we started off really, and by we, I mean he. I in no way coached him or fed him anything before midnight, but he's a grower, not a shower. You know what I mean? Like let him cook. He's starting light. What you saw tonight, that was nothing. Okay. That was just a little, crap walk. That was him, by the way. 100% crap walk was him. And that was my favorite. So maybe I'm not that fucking funny.
Church.
We did it best. If we'd been prepared, we could have done better.
Really never be up worried all night. Don't ever be. Were you really? Don't. It's okay. He was fine. A car hit his car, but he was walking to it. So he saw it happen. And then he was like, well, we're all good. And he let the guy go, which is exactly what I did. Sometimes we're too nice. Sometimes I think we both should have been like, give me your fucking insurance. Oh, Joe. Love you to death, Juan.
Let's take a relaxing break and leave cyber stress behind. Come with me to a clearing, a stream, a mountaintop, and finally to outer space.
Okay, that's it. Listen, I'm not Nick. I can't control what he does. Just kidding. I'm controlling him. You better fucking look out. Listen, I don't control anybody. I control everybody. Look out. I do not have any power whatsoever on the internet. I have all the power. But listen, Aunt Deb, it sounds like you need to let cyber stress go. That's what it sounds like to me. You know what? You have your little 4 points of anarchy or whatever book that is, your little 4-finger discount book. Okay. I have Beyond Ergonomic Solution to Cyber Stress. That's what I live by. Because as a child, I was told, this is all because of cyber stress. Don't worry. Everyone's hair falls out and their teeth fall out and they start to scratch their bodies. This is normal. It's not psoriasis. It's cyber stress.
Let's take a relaxing break and leave cyber stress behind.
Rocco.
Come with me to a clearing, a stream, a mountaintop, and finally to outer space. At each stop.
Jesus Christ. You fucking bitch. right? I literally was thinking that today. I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm not that fucking funny. You know what? Maybe I am a narcissist because why did they stop tweeting about how horrible I am for an hour? They don't have enough people on staff to cover that hour. They can't shit on me for 1 hour. I can't believe they took a break for an hour. What were they doing? Why weren't they coming after me? God. It's infuriating. Oh, hello, Melissa. There she is. At least we have one auntie who's a whore. That is a good point. That is a good point. And Auntie says, of course, absolutely. Auntie Deb, if you would like to come up and chastise the kids, I'm putting a link below for you. I found an old Mad TV sketch I was going to play before this tonight. But after hearing you read that awful book about being a good person, I said to myself, fine, just for Auntie, just for today. Hello, Stevie. Welcome to the freak off, honey. Take your shoes off. Just for today, I'm going to be nice. And I took the sketch off. But listen, if you guys want to see it, put a 1 in the chat and I'll put it back in. Haha. Oh, shit. What do you want? What is that picture? Is that the little kid from the Shiners commercial? What is that?
That's me. Shriners Hospital for Children, you fucking
Yeah.
cunts. That you know that kid's an
that kid?
asshole.
Is that kid who's like, donate to the
Oh,
Shriners?
fuck him. Fuck him. He thinks he's so much better than all the other kids. He's like, we're gonna send you a blanket. And he like looks at the other ones and he's like, knit that fucking blanket, you idiot.
It's the
I'm the
best.
star. I don't like that kid. I got beefs with that kid. No, that's
You
me,
don't
dude.
like that
It's me,
kid?
this little nice
Because he
little
looks like
fucking
little Jimmy? Little
No,
slipping
dude.
Jimmy?
No, son.
Look at that. He's so precious. That's you. Look at that. He's making this is you. You are making Jen McCabe eyes as a child. Look at those eyes. Go back to the kid one. Oh my God. Wow. Oh, Jesus.
You also can't tell me that's not Nick Rocco.
Is that the kid who kicked the rabbit? Did you just say that's Nick Rocco? Oh my Christ. Oh, Jesus, Rita Lombardi Christ. Oh my God.
That was his house they were at.
Hey, I have a sketch I want to show you that I
Wait,
think
what Matt TV sketch are you gonna play?
I'm gonna show you. I want to get your
I
live
want to
reaction.
watch after. Let's shoot the shit for 5 minutes. We'll have a butt before I get to bed.
This is
and start
just
to find
5
my cat.
minutes. Just 5 minutes.
No, I can't like sit and concentrate on something. I can't. I need a minute. I need a Minsky. It's been a rough night, hon.
Okay.
But I'm gonna
go ahead.
I'm gonna fucking night.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just fucking.
Oh shit!
Okay, here.
Background's on. Hold up.
Dude, is that Sean? Is that his name? Is that really a Sean Albert? What's his name? What's that kid's name?
Dylan. It's Colin's little brother.
Is it?
Yeah, that's Dylan Albert.
There's another?
Bitch, there's a whole fucking tribe. There's a lot of them. There's a lot of them, dude. They're like gremlins. If you feed them after midnight, they fucking kill rabbits.
Oh, is this JoJo?
No, that's Sweet Pea. I can't find JoJo.
Is this Sweet Pea? You know what?
Papa.
You got. I am gonna get you the GPS. I'm gonna send it to you. It's tiny. You could put it on her collar.
They don't have collars, dude. Oh my God. Why would I ever give them a collar?
Look at that little.
Dude, what do you believe in slavery too? It's fucked up.
Fucking angel,
dude. Right? You know he's thinking fucked up shit about LGBTQ people.
LGBT, I don't give a fuck.
Dude.
Oh, she's screaming. She just screamed. She just let out a scream. What do you think she is thinking? So I know she's thinking Papa thoughts, but in the back of her little toasted little bird brains, what do you think she's thinking?
I honestly think and that's okay, Sweet Pea.
Whatever.
Is thinking.
Sorry,
is thinking. How come? I can't even say this.
Say it. I'm not sure. Listen, I'm not.
The moment is past.
Baby Jim. I'm not going to tell you to be.
And it was about Nick Rocco, and I can't say
it. When you said the part when you were reading that shit, what was the? And I hate it, and I'm going to keep calling it that shit because it got me all emotional. What was the part where you said, "What were you told a lot as a little kid?" The first thing that popped into my head was "Be quiet."
Yeah, me too. Oh my God, me too. All the time.
Quiet.
Always.
And you know what the big one was? It was children should be seen, not heard. And my grandma had a cross stitch of it. She'd point to it.
I repeated everything, and I would say something like if someone was talking about someone, I would just say things that I saw, and I would like imitate people, and I would ask them why they acted certain ways and why they would
Me
say
too.
certain things, and like I just remember my parents always looking at me with these eyes, being like, "Shut your fucking mouth."
Yep. And it wasn't even just that. Sometimes I wouldn't say anything, and my grandma would say, remember,
Bitch,
children
we
should be
still don't
seen,
have to
not
say
heard."
anything. We just talked about this yesterday. We can be on a live stream, and all we have to do is look at each other, and we're fucked.
It's
We don't
fucked.
even
It's
need
all
to.
fucked.
We don't even need to say.
Just a weird And you know what's even crazier is then you said the thing about what was it? It was the second one right after that. And it was the exact same answer. And I was like, oh fuck.
Dude, the
It was
exact same.
the exact I thought it and then you said it and I was like, that's what you did. Like or what was it? Did you feel like you fit the role that other kids said you were? And it might have even had to have something to do with sexuality, like with a gay or straight. But I remember like as a kid, I didn't want to do things girls wanted to do. I wanted to do things boys wanted to do. I wanted to
I
play
wanted to do what
football
girls did. I wanted
because
to
I
play
watched
Dream
Little
Phone.
Giants. I was like, I want to be Icebox.
Yeah. I didn't want to
Yeah.
go anywhere near a fucking sports, anything. Like, nowhere near it. Like, I want to play Dream Phone. I want to gossip. I want to talk shit. I want to do nails. I want to look pretty.
And I also wanted to
I want to stay inside. I don't want to go
I
outside.
wanted to do farming stuff. Like I was like, I want to be a farmer. I want to be a vet. I want to be around horses, but like not ponies. Like I was like, I want cattle. I want land. And I was like 6. Like I was like, I want to farm. I just thought it was so cool. And
It
then
is
when we like
cool.
moved out to the farm, it was like, this is fucking terrible. Like you have to wake up early. Everything stinks like shit. But I remember as a kid, everything was one way. And then as an adult, I just kind of naturally flipped over to like, it wasn't even like I want to do girls. It was like, I don't want any of that anymore. I just want to I want to do all the stuff I wasn't allowed to do.
Yeah, me
Like I was
too.
always told you're too loud. That was another thing. Too loud.
Don't you wish you could go back and like have the mind you have now and like bitch everyone out?
Fuck no, because then everything would be different. You ever
Yeah, I
think about
know,
that?
man.
Like butterfly effect? Like
Kind of,
if you
but
did
like
that, you might be all quiet now or all
that's why I
like
love little James, because that little motherfucker just says what the fuck is on his mind. I just love, dude, he tells his grandparents to get the fuck out of his house. Like,
that's
he was
such a good
6.
kid. Yeah, my buddy's nephew, Michael's nephew, Jude, he's like he's into boxing and shit. But I just remember like Michael would come by and I'd be like, how's Jude? And he'd tell me shit about this kid and just the drawings he would do and the shit he would say. And it was always like, damn, kids are so cool now.
They are fucking cool. They were always cool. They were just told not to be cool. You know what kind of pisses me off? Like, what I think is annoying and what I think people need to stop doing is making
What?
kids open presents that people give them in front of people. I don't like that. And if they don't appreciate it, if they don't like it, if they got them something shitty and they can't act normally, they have to like, it's teaching them how to act and be fake so early. I don't like it. I don't like it. If the kid doesn't like a present, the kid doesn't like the fucking present. Maybe get a better present. Maybe know the kid a little better instead of just going
That's a
last
really
minute
good
and getting
point.
something. And now you're telling this kid that he has to change his like behavior because you got a shitty gift because you're lazy. I don't like that. That really bothers me. Actually, like talked to my sister about it like 2 years ago. I'm like, don't make him open those in front of these fucking people I can't stand. That man is a beautiful little angry bundle of love, and no,
Yeah.
because he's
And
gonna say some shit.
also,
He's gonna say some shit.
yeah, he's gonna say
some
his
shit.
feelings, and people teach you at a young age not to
Dude,
do
he'll
that.
throw it out. He said sucks. He ripped it open, looked at one, and goes sucks, and threw it.
Oh my god.
And didn't give a fuck when he got yelled at. I was like, I love you.
My nephew said something this Christmas. What did Ezra say to you that was crazy as fuck? Do you remember what Ezra said to you that was crazy as fuck and we were laughing so hard at it? Oh, he looked at Dylan and he goes, "You look different than you should look."
Wait, why?
I don't know. It was
Did he grow his hair out? Has Dylan always had long hair?
Oh, that was the one that killed us. He said, So he's sitting there, and first he tells Dylan, he says, "You look different than you should look," which is weird because he looks the same. And so Dylan is like, what? And then right after that, he's like petting. Yeah, he said, "Your face looks different than it should look." He just looks right at him and says that. Then he starts petting the Mookies. And while he's petting Hugin, he like looks up and he says, "My friend Austin, he almost got taken away from his house by CPS because his parents don't clean his house."
Oh, bitch.
He has a dirty house. And we're like,
when I was working in elementary school, these kids tell everyone at school, I'm telling you, if you have kids in elementary school and something goes on, anything goes on in your house, everyone fucking knows about it. Everybody. Everybody knows that mom yelled at dad and dad yelled at mom. Mom had a girlfriend, this person, and they just spill. They spill. Dude, that's why I like kids, dude. They talk the shit. They talk the real shit.
And he also like, he's a little gossip and I love it.
Me too.
But he comes right up in front of his own mom, my sister-in-law, and right in front of her, he like just starts talking his shit and it's like funny. But then he goes, I said, "Do you want to tell us everything that mommy says about daddy and daddy says about mommy?" And then he like sat down and he goes, "You want to know everything, even the things I'm not supposed to say?"
Especially those things.
And he just starts and they're like, "Map." Then he just cuts it off. I wanted to hear it.
What were you told not to say?
As a kid?
Like, what was the thing? Because I remember what mine was. Do you remember what yours was?
Like anything. I remember one big one was I didn't know what was up with my dad, like where he was, because till I was 14, I didn't have a dad. I had a stepdad when I hit 14. But I remember the first time I asked my grandma, like I'll never forget it. I remember I was like 3 or 4. I might have been it was my first day of kindergarten. I was always the youngest. My birthday was always like the first day of school. Yeah.
Because we have our birthdays like 4 days apart. Me always was always the youngest.
And so you're always the youngest and people always like kind of give you a little shit for it.
Always give you shit for it.
And it's like fucking weird. It's like, it's
fuck off,
only
you
a
old
year.
Fucking weirdo. You're old.
And they treat you like you're stupid. And then I had my last name began with R. So I was always at the end of things. And I didn't like that. I always wanted to be at the beginning. And I remember
you're not 7 yet. If you're 7, who's 7 here? I'm gonna be 7 next week, and meanwhile you're still 5.5.
You're getting stickers. You're a baby. I don't need stickers. Like
you're still 5.5. No one wants to fuck you when you're 5.5. Wait till you're 7. Stupid assholes, dude.
Remember when I told you, I was like, no one wants to fuck your kids.
Yes, that was
people
fucking
were complaining
amazing.
About drag queens. They're gonna let trans in the bathrooms. I was like, even if they do, they're not trying to fuck your kids.
No, dude. No. They fucking, that shit's fucking done in plain sight. That's like, watch that R. Kelly documentary, even though Dream Hampton's kind of a cunt. That fucking explains all that kind of shit. Dude, where's Josephine? Why am I such a concerned mother?
Because she's been, okay, I told you, when you get stressed or you're under high stress, that's when Josephine's up your ass. You just had a great time online and you're not stressed. So Josephine's going and catching up on all the shit JoJo needed to do when JoJo was busy up your ass. Like, remember when they stopped talking about me on Twitter for a day? That's when I got my shit all done. And they were getting their shit done. I just forgot to come back. They're still, like, doing that shit. So they got to catch up.
They're still... They will be next year too.
Dude, it's I feel like, should I send like pizza or something? Should I send Starbucks? Like,
no, because I think they get it upside down or something like that.
Wait, the pizza spins backwards. That's how fucking
or something. Like, I don't know the rules. I don't know. We can't even play the game because we don't know the rules.
I remember when I was little, back to your question.
Yeah.
So for me, I love to make shit up and I'd say weird shit. Like I remember telling someone I was from the moon, speaking of the moon, which I never.
Yeah, you told me that. I remember that. And I said, that's why you hate it now.
Yeah, that's why I hate the moon now. That's why I hate all that shit.
Because you escaped to it when you were little.
And it was weird. And I remember
but you are from the fucking moon, dude.
Probably. I'm a moon dude. I'm Moon Bob. But I remember that being a big thing. So like now I got too many dads. Now I got a bio dad, my stepdad. I got Papa. I got fucking all these different people. So it's like I got too many dads. And
Dude,
so
that's
now I'm like
exactly what I was thinking.
fucking dad rich. I got so many fucking dads. I got so many dads I don't know what to do with.
Dude, I'm
I'm a
dad
dad.
rich.
I'm a fucking dad. I didn't expect that. It's a lot. And so now I went from no dads to too many dads. So I think about it like this. When you're a kid, whatever you're deprived of is what you want. That's why I think that this whole, I'm going to say something controversial, but if you
Do it.
look in Europe, look at
Oh,
Deweys
the
or what
sex
they would,
thing and the violence thing.
including the drinking. Like in
Yeah.
Germany, you can start drinking very young and they have a very low rate of DUIs and shit. And I'm like, is that because they adapt to the alcoholism and they're still alcoholics? Or is it because there's no desire to have something that you could have younger? And I think that when people hit 21 and they can drink, they go overboard because they were told not to for so long.
Seems a little weird, right? Like done on purpose or something like that. It's weird.
And
Boobs are weird too. Like the offensiveness of a boob of like breast tissue. Do you know Free the Nipple? I was like a big part of that movement.
How did we get here? What are you talking about?
Do you remember that in like 2013? I like cast a bunch of people in that movie. I was like in the fucking thing, like with Miley Cyrus, like literally.
I think that's weird. I totally forgot about that. It's kind of, and again, history does repeat itself because there was the free the tits thing in the 70s and the 80s
The
and
pussy
then
power shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's all
What they
coming
based it
back.
off of.
Do you think bell bottoms are coming back?
Dude, I wonder
know
if
we've
they
been
have the original trailer for the movie that they were gonna call it originally, dude. That original trailer they never released was fucking really good, dude. Hold on, I'm gonna see if they have it, dude. That shit was
What'd they
cool. I'm on
call it?
2%. My shit's gonna die. Hold on.
And also, Foxy, my shit's flipped too because my stepdad I called dad. And so now I have bio dad. When I say bio dad, I have to stress he's not a robot. He's my biological father. But what's weird is they're so opposite. Like one is super liberal and one is super Republican. The liberal one is an immigrant from Poland who speaks Polish primarily. Stepdad, he's from the South. And they're so different. And my favorite thing is in my head, I see them as, if I say my dads, I've had so many people go, oh, you've got two gay dads. Like they assume I've got like gay parents and that they're both men. And I just go, yeah. Because in my head, it's really funny to think of them dating. And I know that's fucked up, but God damn, that's funny to me. They're the exact opposites. Same. I would also get asked, what are you, deaf? Because I was so loud. And yes, in my left ear, pretty fucking deaf. So like, sorry, like that was weird. To this day, my grandma will scream in my face. And then if I'm too loud, she'll go, shh, 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 and it drives me nuts. Like that's I hate being shushed. I fucking hate that. Just a shh, 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 shh. Ooh, now you're my enemy. I'm October birthday, start school. Cry when my dude. And did you guys ever go to college and you were 17? Because I did. My first day of college, and it was fucking weird. And I was in proximity to the prize master, and I remember thinking, like, am I even allowed to be here? Like, this is too artsy. This is too incredible. But yeah, it's fucking weird. I had two stepdads and my real dad was solid, and his still steps were losers. Yeah, and dude, people whose moms had like a bunch of boyfriends or they had a bunch of stepdads, like, I wonder if there's anybody out there who had a parent who had like 3 or 4 different husbands and the kid called them all dad but liked them all. Imagine having 4 or 5 dads. Like, holy shit, dude. I don't think I could cope. It's too many dads. It's an intense memory and amazing triumph all in one. The stepdad thing? Oh, the birthday. Oh, you mean don't you mean when your mom left you in kindergarten, like left you to go to kindergarten so you could go to school, right? Not like left you there forever. I think she means so she could go to school. I could be wrong. She just left you at the kindergarten, never saw you again. That is so fucking sad. And I am so sorry. Your mom had a bunch of boyfriends. And did you ever is it weird? Did you get attached to them? They actually say let your child be older in class. It has something to do with confidence because they're hitting mile markers before everyone. Oh. This kid or Nana would say children should be seen and not heard. We would laugh their face off and run 13 grandkids. Jesus, 13. That's like, fuck, that's like Home Alone numbers. I liked the first stepdad, not the following ones. Oh, Aunt Deb sent us some. Oh, I can't copy paste this shit. Can you send it to me in private chat so I can play it? Yeah, she's drinking out of the
my
cat.
comment. Okay, so the first one, if you watch it, you might see me somewhere. I don't know if you can. I'm gonna send you the original, the trailer they never used, but it's pretty fucking powerful, dude. It's
You
pretty
got to
fucking
send it in
cool.
private chat though, because I can't copy paste
Done.
that.
Shit's
Okay,
gonna
cool.
die. I'm gonna plug it in and be right back.
All right.
Not on here, but I'll be up in the chat. I gotta go to 99 JoJo.
All right. He's gonna go find JoJo. All right. What is this? Oh, cool. Something that'll get me copywritten, you piece of shit. Here we go. We're gonna watch this. We're gonna watch this. Here you go. Here you go, kids. This is what your auntie sent. Did she say she's in this? Ooh, this is gonna be exciting. Here we go.
I am aware that the Vatican and certain Catholic communities are accusing my show of being sinful and blasphemous. This is what I consider freedom of speech, freedom of expression, and freedom of thought. If you do not believe in these freedoms, you are imprisoning everyone's mind. When a mind is imprisoned, then our spiritual life
Also, I never saw this shit because I'm gonna be honest with you, nudity makes me so fucking uncomfortable. And it was because when I was little, I used to slide under the I'll never forget this either. I used to slide under the dressing room doors, the stalls, and then peep, and I'd go, hello. And then my grandma would grab my legs and drag me out and be like, stop it. You gotta stop looking at strangers. And I remember being like, oh my God, I'm not supposed to look at that. And so to this day, when I see shit like this, I'm like, ah. But yeah, kind of crazy. Yeah, I never watched this because I was like, nah, too many naked people.
Heroic to go spill guts and blood in the most ghastly manner in the name of humanity.
Just to be clear, man boobs are never okay, but I see what you mean.
What?
Yeah, no, I agree. It is normal, but that's what trips me out is we're talking about shit from your kid, like when you're a kid, when you're a child, that affects you when you're older. It's like, I wonder if maybe the reason I hate looking at nudity is because it's like, I used to get my ass beat for peeping on strangers. I remember I used to just walk up to people's houses and knock on the door and be like, what are you guys doing? Get in trouble all the time for that shit. Yeah, fuck feet, dumpster juice. Feet are disgusting. Feet are worse than any other part of the human body. Did you hear this free the nipple shit, babe? They made a movie. And all these bitches have their titties out. You'd love it. Porn? No, it's not porn. It's just normal stuff. It's just normal American fucking art. Yeah, it's legal here too. And also, when I was in Oregon, the most uncomfortable shit ever that happened to me was the bike riding group. Like 100 people rode by and they were buck ass naked. And I was like, what is that? And they're like, naked bike ride. Found out we have one here. Seen it. Not good. Everything is bigger in Texas. You don't want to see that. But also, what was wild is they'd sit up and you know how some people stand while they're riding their bikes? They were doing that and their little ball sacks were dangling. And I was like, I'm just trying to get donuts. I was in line at Voodoo. I thought that was pretty weird. Oh, shit. So we're all having flashbacks. This is amazing. This is amazing. Yeah, I just wanted attention. And my mom never did that. She was at work. I'm talking about just other people, like my teachers. I was probably the only kindergartner that got fucking suspended repeatedly. They'd be like, she just won't shut the fuck up. Which, fair enough, I didn't. Sex or war was a decision to make. I've been absent for almost 2 years, and I also hate war. I choose to not deal with either situations. Same. Yeah, they do have nice boobs. Show us some torn up, scratched up nipples. Show us some nipples that have been chewed on by a pack of dogs, and then let's talk. That's hilarious. You guys are very funny. Okay. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to continue the cyber stress. We're going to watch some more stuff. And then I'm going to show you some more Brennan shit that I found interesting. I wanted to show it last night, but I was tired and had to go check on Dave's boyfriend's car, which I actually didn't really do. I ended up getting distracted. Here we go.
Stress that comes from long hours at your computer. Feel your serpent within, suspended now between the sky and the earth. And imagine your favorite mountain. Could be a hill, any high place where you like to be. Around and around and around. Now reverse it, coming in. Tickling is a wonderful way to relieve tension.
Yo, there's a Moon the Train thing. What were we watching when they moon the train? They moon the train. Oh, actually, no. I was watching that alone. I like to watch train videos. Train mooners.
Train mover memory.
Train mover memory. Yeah. So I like it. Hey, speaking of tism, I love trains. I like watching videos of people trying out different trains because I didn't even know trains were still a thing until recently. Like all over the US. I thought they were just in the north. Turns out they're everywhere. And there's trains that go across the US. And I was like, this is fascinating. There's a whole lane of YouTube I didn't know where really rich people ride on the fanciest trains and then they tell you which ones are the best. I purposefully chose boobs of regular people, breast cancer survivors, all colors, all sizes. Yay, Aunt Deb. Is that what we were looking at? I had my eyes closed and I was rocking back and forth. But in all seriousness, it was looked down upon by producers, but then praised by critics. Ooh. So you were the one, wait, you worked on the casting and shit? When they asked me to do casting. Shut up. I didn't even realize that. It was looked down upon. Yeah, totally. Totally. Yeah, they definitely would do that. It was a nice fuck you I got to have. Yeah. They would do that. That's how they are. That's how they are. Shit, even in comedy, even with your clothes on, they're like, no, your boobs are shitty. Get out of here. Like, that's how they are. Yeah. Graduated 17. Yep. Same. Good night and a happy new year. Well, we have another day. Let's hold on. Yeah, he's forbidden to hit cars. Yeah. A familiar little twinkle. I got way behind. Everyone said good night. I foster him. Oh my God. Do you put the kittens in the tub? I have a friend who fosters a lot of kittens and she puts them in the bathtub. Tia Deb, don't forget to take your plan B. Yeah, thank you for letting her know because she was just at a freak off. We'd have a lot less eating disorders and fucked up and if more average people were seen naked instead of freak of nature models and surgically modified specimens. This is true. I'm of the camp where I'm like, how about no one get naked? We have clothes. But also I get it. I would totally support that shit. I just probably wouldn't take my top off. It still freaks me out. I'm sorry. I just got my ass beaten at Target. I don't want to fucking deal with that again. I imagine that I look at a naked person and then my grandma shows up and beats my ass in a Target. And it scares me. And that's why I don't go to Target. I'm just kidding. I go. Here we go. You know what your aunt said? Do you know what your aunt said earlier? And it was one of the funniest things ever. And I laughed so fucking hard. She said that you guys in Australia are going to know the Karen Reid verdict before we do. Could not stop laughing at that.
I thank you for moving with me from place to place. I hope you will continue to visit these places and incorporate them.
I did. In the late 80s, was it a Kmart maybe? It was red. It was all red. I think it was a Target though.
Into your workday. And remember, relax, take breaks. Relax, take breaks. Relax, take breaks. Relax, take breaks.
I don't know, but it would be sick as fuck if Karen, like,
I'm just the nasty.
if she gets found not guilty and then she just flashes everyone and says, free me.
The insult hitman, and I've got a contract on you. Hate to lose a friend, but a guy's gotta eat.
This is Aunt Deb and Nick Rocco going back and forth, and they're dressed the same. So don't ask which one's Mr. Nasty. They both are.
I'm Mr. Nasty, the insult hitman, and I've got a contract on you.
Okay, I have to say something about this because I am also against that. But only because it's like, man, it just looks creepy. Like it's too many people. It's like, come on, what are we doing here? We don't want to look like Among Us, you know? But at the same time, just got to keep it real. They are a very light material. If you've ever seen or touched a real one, very light material, supposedly really great for the hot. Like when it's really hot outside. And Sami Zayn, when he went over there, he said that whole outfit, he's like, man, this is very freeing and breathy. So you know what? Maybe clothes and not clothes and burqas and not burqas, maybe all these things, maybe none of them are right. Maybe, just maybe, Varsity Blues had it right. Maybe we all need to be covered in whipped cream. Here we go. It's Mr. Nasty.
Hate to lose a friend, but a guy's gotta eat. Dogs are man's best friends, but you don't have any friends. Why else would you be getting this tape? The person who hired me thinks you're ugly. You know, if they put all your brains in a piss ant, it'd walk backwards. You know, in your high school yearbook, you were voted worst. You know what else I hear? All the men in your family pee sitting down. And all the women in the family do it anywhere they can.
Mm-hmm.
You're disgusting. You're so ugly. You'd make a Hindu eat hamburger, a Jew eat pork, a piranha go vegetarian. You're ugly.
Those are all the jokes I wrote for Nick Rocco. What do you think it is? Jersey?
self-defense means
This
meeting violence
is me on Twitter.
with violence. First the warrior, all else is folly.
I'll just bring Paul over here. We had the Adam's apple. The hand makes a circle and chops into that brainstem. That's a knockout point. Thank you, Paul. I come right in and attack the Adam's apple.
We're going back so I can hear thank you, Paul, some more, but also I need to call this out when I see it. Listen to me, I'm putting my face up here. When I am looking through Twitter or when I'm watching other YouTubers stream, no matter who they are, the good ones, the bad ones, the uglies, all of them. When I am on Twitter and I'm seeing you guys talk, when I am fucking doing anything regarding the Karen Reed shit or anything true crime related, and I see one of you kids pop in with a thank you, Paul. It takes everything to not cry. There is nothing better that you can do to support them. You know what will free Karen? Thank you, Paul. Paul will do it. Thank you, Paul. A nice thank you, Paul, can go very far. Very far. Saying thank you, Paul, in public, on the internet, through Twitter, through videos, in chats. That is my Tinkerbell clap. Nothing gives me more strength than thank you, Paul. Fuck, it kills me. It's so funny.
All else is folly.
I'll just bring Paul over here. We had the Adam's apple. The hand makes a circle and chops into that brainstem. That's a knockout point. Thank you, Paul. I come right in and attack the Adam's apple. Thank you, Paul. So you poke from here right into the eye. Thank you, Paul. I hit him, comes flying back. If I miss, into there. Thank you, Paul. As you can see, there's a lot of force. Thank you, Paul. And we're squeezing hard behind the windpipe. Thank you, Paul. I follow through with the strike. Thank you, Paul. Wham, like that. Thank you, Paul. Kick, like that.
I want to know what relation Paul is to him. Is this his son-in-law? Because also, look at how uncomfortable Paul's like, Dad, please don't hit me. Like, is this his kid? Is this his son-in-law? Is this how Brian Albert treats, what's his name, Tristan? Is this Brian and Tristan? What's going on here?
That. Thank you, Paul. Coming right down on the skull. Thank you very much, Paul. 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 Out of that circle.
By following McSweeney's self-defense, you're going to be able to maintain a strong, healthy body and to protect it throughout your entire lifespan or until you become.
So don't forget, all you street soldiers out there holding it down on the Twitter, Dad sees you. And to you, I say thank you, Paul. And also, this is you. This is you. This is us. This is me. Just trying to get by on the internet.
Become disabled or fragile and weak.
Ah, shit. Well, you don't have to say it, little Misfit. It's okay. Welcome to a new lane we've never ventured to before, called Mike-tastics. Mikey-tastics Gymnastics. You're welcome. You're welcome, Paul.
You may wonder, Gymnastics, what is that? Well, it's meant to be similar to gymnastics. Although my name is Mike, it's not Jim, and the things I do are similar to gymnastic.
Did you catch that? He calls it Mike-nastics because his name is Mike, not Jim. You hear that, Jimmy? I know you're still listening. This is not you. So quit trying to be this man.
You may wonder, Gymnastics, what is that? Well, it's meant to be similar to gymnastics. Although my name is Mike, it's not Jim, and the things I do are similar to gymnastic activities. So, voila, Gymnastics.
Look at that. Huh. Also me on Twitter. Oh. Oh, thank you, Paul. Oh, shit. Oh shit, that's me. That's me. Oh, got the tweet out. There we go. Pause it. Let's look at that denim. Let's go back a little. Right. This is a good spot. Yeah, shit tweakers do. That's the new book coming out in May. He's great, isn't he? He's fantastic. This is all of us. This is all of us on Twitter. We think we're not going to nail it. Boom, we nail it. Is this guy going to pull out a can of tobacco and use it as a throwing star? Well, if not, he's not in our family. Of course he is. I mean, did he catch it on tape? Are we going to see it? I don't know, but of course he's about to do it. Of course. We can. If you want more Mike Gymnastics, we'll do more Mike Gymnastics. All you got to do is say the words, okay? Don't tell Turd to shut it. Turd has great ideas. It's very impressive. He's better than Power Team, in my opinion. Listen to me. Does that exist? Oh, we're watching it. That's a great point. Yep. I know you need to go to bed, but listen. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul. This is all of us doing Mike-kinetics. Mike-kinetics. That's a great one. Pause game. CrossFit. Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene doing CrossFit. That's what this is. Forget everything you thought you knew about Mike Gymnastics. Okay? We do these after Dance Kinetics. Dance Kinetics gets us warmed up. That's where we release all the energy. This is where we take all the released energy, we pull it back into us, we get mad, we say, thank you, Paul, and then we go on Twitter. All right? Real short.
There we go.
Thank you, Paul. God damn. He's like, it is like if Arn Anderson did gymnastics. Come here, babe, look at this. This is Arthur Lee Allen in his backyard. If you guys didn't know, this is Arthur Lee Allen before he was busted.
Pretty good. Dismount, I almost cut my toe. I gotta be careful when I'm swinging that way.
Wait, he has a guy filming for him? That's not a tripod? Thank you, Paul.
In the high dive.
Yes, he has a camera. Oh.
Here's number 1.
What do you mean he doesn't?
Number 5. Number 11.
Ernie, are you thinking what I'm thinking? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Melissa. Oh, what about Melanie? What about Melanie? Or Melissa? Who should get this one? Because he's a gem. We got to give him to the right one. We got to give him. I feel like Melissa would tear his ass up.
Number 17.
17? Never give up. Do you hear me, kids? Never give up. Look, your aunt wants to give you all these sweet little books talking about how you're not your childhood, you're not your, but do good because you're good. No. I'm giving you Mike Gymnastics. Give yourself 16 head injuries on the 17th. You'll get it right.
See that?
No big deal, y'all. No big deal at all. I know you cauliflower his asshole.
So there you have it. And
Nikki, I love you.
Hope you enjoyed the show.
Favorite child. Trust me, I enjoyed it, sir.
Crank it up.
Crank it up.
We are flaming Brooklyn.
So this is me after Twitter. This is me at the end of the night after I've looked through it all. Early morning. This is it.
We are flaming Brooklyn.
We are flaming Brooklyn.
And let me tell you something, shitbird. I've never even heard of your little agency.
That's Aunt Deb.
Kill him.
That's me taking the fun.
Who is this?
This is flaming Brooklyn.
Oh, okay. Flaming Dragon. Fuckface. First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face! Now, I don't know what kind of pan-Pacific bullshit power play you're trying to pull here, but Asia Jack is my territory. So whatever you're thinking, you better think again. Otherwise, I'm going to have to head down there, and I will rain down on a godly fucking firestorm upon you. You're going to have to call the fucking United Nations and get a fucking binding resolution to keep me from fucking destroying you. I am talking scorched earth, motherfucker. I will massacre you. I will fuck you up!
I just want to be clear again, because this is my favorite clip from any movie ever, probably. That Matthew McConaughey represents your Aunt Deborah, and I am Tom Cruise.
Dragon. We are flaming dragon.
And let me tell you something, shitbird. I've never even...
Just to be clear, because some people don't get it. There are people who don't get it. This is Aunt Deb. This is Twitter. This is me. Okay, here we go.
You something, shitbird. I've never even heard of your little agency. Because we kill him.
This is Last Grossman. Who is this?
This is flaming dragon.
Oh, okay, Flaming Dragon. Fuckface. First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face! Now, I don't know what kind of pan-Pacific bullshit power play you're trying to pull here, but Asia Jack is my territory. So whatever you're thinking, you better think again. Otherwise, I'm going to have to head down there, and I will rain down on a godly fucking firestorm upon you. You're going to have to call the fucking United Nations and get a fucking binding resolution to keep me from fucking destroying you. I am talking scorched earth, motherfucker. I will massacre you.
Okay, listen, now we have to watch it again because I had to pause it, and I've got that weird OCD thing, but listen. I'm glad we have to because this is the best. I didn't even fucking notice that. What? That's perfect. First of all, we're not yelling at them, but that's fun to think about. That is very fun to think about. Look how it all comes around. Shitbird. That's Turd and Ernie, dude. Because Ernie is the birdie and Turd is the shit. Holy fuck.
You. Shitbird. I've never even heard of your little agency. Because we kill him.
This is Last Grossman. Who is this?
This is flaming dragon.
Oh, okay, Flaming Dragon. Fuckface. First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face! Now, I don't know what kind of pan...
This right here. This is Australia.
Face! Now, I don't know what kind of pan-Pacific bullshit power play you're trying to pull here, but Asia Jack is my territory. So whatever you're thinking, you better think again. Otherwise, I'm going to have to head down there, and I will rain down on a godly fucking firestorm upon you. You're going to have to call the fucking United Nations and get a fucking binding resolution to keep me from fucking destroying you. I am talking scorched earth, motherfucker. I will massacre you. I will fuck you up. Did you find out who that was? Yeah.
Tiffany, do not make... Are you fucking serious? I will start it over again. We will watch this 10 fucking times, okay? Do you understand? Are you about to make me... They're not like us. Then are you about to make me a Kendrick concert? Am I going to have to do this 6 times? What do you mean is that, Tom Cruise? What do you mean, Tiffany? Tiffany? Did you not know that was Tom Cruise, bitch? Did you really, Tiffany? You had to know. Tiff, you have to see Tropic Thunder. If you have not seen Tropic Thunder, you need to see it now. If you've seen it and you're just now realizing that is Tom Cruise, I'm going to have to turn the volume down because I'm about to scream laugh. Are you serious? Okay, now you do have to watch it for a 6th time because you need to, now that you know, yes, that is fucking Tom Cruise. That's him, dude. For anyone who didn't know, now that you know, I'm playing it for you so you can see. Tiffany. I used you by your Christian. I named you. I said Christian name. I said Tiffany. I said your whole name, Tiffany. Tiffany Rita Lombardi Knox. I need you to watch Tropic fucking Thunder. So you haven't seen, so you don't know about Robert Downey Jr.'s character? You don't know about that? It actually kind of fits the scenario I was alluding to earlier if you've been to Twitter recently. Fuck. Are we Tropic Thunder? I just realized, are we Tropic Thunder? Oh my God, dude. No, we're not. This is great. I am happy that Tiffany didn't know, because this means she's about to experience so much fucking joy. She's about to have the best time. And also rewatching it. Oh my God. Rewatching it now that she knows it's Tom Cruise. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Because now that she knows, it's even better for her. Now that you know, pay attention, because oh my God, yes, it is Tom Cruise.
Are you something, shitbird?
And that's
I've
Aunt Deb.
never even heard of your little agency.
Aunt Deb just always try to like keep shit together. Don't let me fuck it up. Just keep everything on the road. Everything's gonna be fine. Everything's gonna be okay, dude. We're not fucked. Everything's not fucked. And then I get a little crazy. Get a little crazy. I fuck shit up. But then Tiffany Rita Lombardi Christ comes in and says, "Is that fucking Tom Cruise?" And then we have to stop. We have to pull over the car because what? What? You like all your new names? What? We're getting shirts. What? It's gonna be merch. What? That's a Stone Cold thing. That's a Stone Cold. Danny McBride, special effects dude, is you, Mitty. That is literally what you do for a living. And remember when I first found that out, what did I say? I said, like Danny McBride in Tropic Thunder. Yes, that's what Mitty does for a living. Yes, this is a home movie. This is you kids when you were younger a week ago. Yeah, you are not like us. And look how she did a call back there. I'm not like us. God, I love you, Tiff.
Tell you something, shitbird. I've never even heard
Of course I am.
Because we kill him.
This last horseman, who is this?
This is Flaming Dragon.
Okay, Flaming Dragon. Fuckface. First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face! Now, I don't know what kind of pan-Pacific bullshit power play you're trying to pull here, but Asia Jack is my territory. So whatever you're thinking, you better think again. Otherwise, I'm going to have to head down there, and I will rain down on a godly fucking firestorm upon you. You're going to have to call the fucking United Nations and get a fucking binding resolution to keep me from fucking destroying you. I am talking scorched earth, motherfucker. I will massacre you. I will fuck you up.
Yeah, his arms are thick. They did that on purpose. He said that was his favorite part, too.
Did you find out who that was? Yeah.
Les Grossman. We not get money yet. Price now 100 million. You pay now or tomorrow's time.
Great. Let me get this down. 100 million. Oh, wait. I got a better idea. Instead of 100 million, how about I send you a hobo's dick cheese? Then you kill him. Do your thing. Skin the fucking bastard. Go to town, man. Go to town.
No.
In the meantime, and as usual, go fuck yourself.
No.
We don't negotiate with terrorists.
Mm-hmm. Like you could.
Whoa. Hey, are you insane?
I think I could have done that.
No, I thought it was good. They're going to kill him.
Okay, now we're going to get on to the good stuff. We don't negotiate with terrorists. Do you understand, kids? We don't. Why? Walk among... Jesus Christ, you kids. South Park Tom Cruise is great. You know, I don't know if he was based on Weinstein, but if he was, then that kind of loops around to the Karen Reed trial, doesn't it? Because if you don't know... Same lawyers. Okay, next. Which is actually kind of a perfect segue. It's kind of a perfect segue, unfortunately. But it is. Because today we're going to focus on Hank again. Why? Well, for those of you who don't know, he represented Whitey Bulger. And I know that that's not all he was. I know that a lot of people go, oh, you know, why are the people focusing on that? That's like, yeah, we get it. It was the most famous mobster in history. And now all of a sudden the guy who, you know, called the Commonwealth a nightmare and called Massachusetts government a farce and said that it was all rigged and everybody's corrupt pieces of shit is now representing them. That's kind of crazy, isn't it? That's crazy. That's weird. That's like when someone flips sides completely. And not only that, but he's fighting the same arguments he once made. That's the part that I don't get. You like the Brennan stuff, huh? I know you don't focus on the Bulgers. It's about how deep you bury the bulge. I get it. Sometimes a check is true. A check is a check is a check. A heel turn, if you will. Oh, Mitty, new favorite kid. This is all great. These are great points. These are absolutely great points. Bulger, I don't even know her exactly. So Whitey's guy is not just Hank. It's another guy named J.W. Carney, which I find funny because there's the Aiden Carney and Jennifer Weeks, and then we got a guy named Weeks in the witness thing and a Carney. This trial has it all, right? This trial has it all. It's got Whitey's attorney. It's got similar last names. It's in the Commonwealth. I mean, my gosh, if Beverly popped in the back with her whore red lipstick and started sighing, I would not be surprised. But it's very fascinating. It's very fascinating. He is a boner killer. He is a boner killer. Good thing we're not watching this to get off. We're watching this in the hopes that Karen gets off. So with that said, I'd like to present to you some more footage of Hank back when he was defending the biggest mobster in history who eluded capture for over a decade, but who ended up being a major informant for the FBI and was super corrupt along with the Commonwealth. So it's really crazy how his entire defense was, you guys are fucked up, you guys are corrupt, blah, 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 blah. And you know what's even funny? He's got other cases like that where the argument was, you guys are corrupt, blah, 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 blah. And I just think it's funny. I think it's funny because now he's got to defend them in probably one of the most corrupt cases, since Whitey Bulger, since Sean Ellis. And I've said before, and I'll say it a million times, the only one I can think of that's probably more corrupt than both of those, as far as dipping your oil stick in a couple of different cars, honey, it's Ahmaud Arbery. Fucking everyone. I mean, that guy worked at the DA's office who murdered this kid. He knew everyone in Georgia. But we're talking Commonwealth, Massachusetts. If we're just talking Massachusetts, goddamn. Goddamn, what a surprise to see Hank Brennan, of all people, arguing against the exact same shit that he has repeatedly argued himself many times in the past. And the reason we like to highlight this is because it's funny to see a bitch turn heel. So let's watch it. Let's see if you notice anything, and I will pause it when I do, and we could talk about it, okay? Fun. And I'll take that banner down. It's distracting, and I forgot about it. Here we go. So this, by the way, is J.W. Carney, and then Hank Brennan is over here to the right, and they just, again, they're representing Bulger. They know there's nothing they can fucking do, okay? But they're going to talk about it. Let's talk about how we talked mad shit to the Commonwealth instead of defending our client and what we said and why we fucking said it.
What's up, buddy?
What's up, buddy?
I say next question.
We got your reaction to the verdict today. Just tell us what you think of what the jury decided.
I'll defer to Mike Colson.
Jay Carney and I showed up in June after looking at this case and working on it for some time. And we thought we were going to expose a little bit of government corruption. Little did we think that the government would expose more corruption than we ever could have. During that time, from the bottom all the way to the top, you saw the government bring out witnesses that had deals, life, money. And so at some point, hopefully this case is the beginning where people reflect a little bit on our government, ask our government questions about what is going on today. And questions about what is going on today.
Jim Bulger was very pleased at how the trial went and even pleased by the outcome. I don't think he expected that 9 times the jury would come back and say not guilty or not proven. It was important to him that the government corruption be exposed, and important to him that people see firsthand the deals that the government was able to make with certain people. With that as what he was looking for from a trial, he's very pleased.
Did he call it a sham? Did he call it a sham? How did he the trial and he calls it a sham?
He has a strong feeling that he should have been able to present his defense, but presenting his immunity defense was only one of his goals in this trial. It's rare that you can achieve all of your goals, and so the fact that he was able to highlight the corruption that he was in the middle of, as well as the corrupt, obscene deals made with certain witnesses, should be something that informs all the citizens about what happens behind the scenes in a federal prosecution.
There was no finding in the killing of Deborah Davis, no finding. What do you conclude from that? If Walter didn't kill Deborah Davis, or if there's no finding in that regard, what do you think happened?
Hank?
Jay Carney and I were very pleased at the diligence of the jury, how they paid such attention.
You kids think I don't know what the fuck is going on? You kids think I'm not exactly, Pat. Well. Who's not paying their taxes? Who's not paying their taxes? You guys want fat gay Hoogan shirts? You'll get fat gay Hoogan shirts. You'll get them. It's the fucking nodes. And thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul. Let's hear about all the corruption in the Commonwealth, shall we?
Throughout the trial, even some of the parts of the trial that were difficult and sometimes even boring. The amount of time they spent reflecting and deliberating.
What was that? What was that you just said? What was that? Let's go back. And sometimes what?
Times even boring.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just one more time. I'm sorry. What was that?
That were difficult and sometimes even boring. The amount of time they spent reflecting and deliberation shows that this jury was the best.
Interesting you say that, Leah. Interesting you say that. I can't tell if you're being sarcastic or not because the internet. But, right? Like, doesn't it feel a little like a bit on the nose for them? Like, what the front door? Here's the thing. Whitey's dead. He got beaten into a puddle of slop. He got his ass beat and destroyed in prison so fucking bad that they had to throw him in Nagel's trough. Okay? It is so fascinating that his lawyer of all people is sitting here complaining about that was a little boring for me, while simultaneously highlighting the height of corruption existing right across the table from him. That's who he's here to fight. They're the worst of the worst, but they're kind of boring. Jesus, Hank. God damn. He's a fucking tool. But it's interesting. It's an interesting thought. It's an interesting thought how Morrissey seems to favor this guy. It's a little weird. It's a little weird.
This group of people to ultimately make the decision
Yes,
regarding
he
the
did.
verdict.
Yes, he did.
The government pinned their hopes on these predicate offenses, in many cases, upon witnesses who we thought had an absolute lack of credibility, an extraordinary motive to lie, and were not guides that a reasonable person could follow to help find.
Sorry, I need to repeat that part. That is the best part. That is the best part. Why were the witnesses bad in the Whitey Bulger trial? And by the way, the witnesses, their family members were murdered or they helped do it. That's all you need to know. Every witness in that trial, if you followed it, every fucking witness either had someone murdered by Whitey or they helped do a murder for Whitey. And anybody else investigated him and had him on wiretap. They had him on video. They had him on audio. They had everything. And he fled over a decade. And why were these witnesses who were also on the audio and the video and who also were victims? What was wrong with those witnesses, sir? What was wrong?
The government pinned their hopes on these predicate offenses, in many cases, upon witnesses who we thought had an absolute lack of credibility, an extraordinary motive to lie.
You mean like the McCabe's and the Alberts? That is so fascinating. They had every reason to lie, right? What was that? What was that?
Had an absolute lack of credibility, an extraordinary.
Oh, lack of credibility. That's interesting. That's interesting. One more time for the cheap seats.
Decision regarding the verdict. The government pinned their hopes on these predicate offenses, in many cases, upon witnesses who we thought had an absolute lack of credibility, an extraordinary motive to lie, and were not guides that a reasonable person could follow to help find a conviction. To ask a public or a jury to trust in whole witnesses that had such promises and inducements and such.
To ask the jury to accept, this is the most important part. He is offended that the jury is being asked what? What was that? Oh, fuck. Fuck, that's true. Matt Hardy knows. He knows what you did, Higgins. Matt Hardy knows. A monster and a rat. Whitey was a monster and a rat. He played both fucking sides. Listen to what the jury has to fucking eat from the slop trough. Pay attention. What sounds familiar about this?
Find a conviction. To ask a public or a jury to trust in whole witnesses that had such promises and inducements and such motives to lie, in some ways that's reflected itself in the verdict.
Wow. Wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. So he's talking about a convicted murderer who did do all those things, who was wanted, who is a bad person, who murdered everyone. He was the fucking biggest mob guy ever. They made movies about him, Black Mass, The Departed, all this shit. So that's how strongly he feels about that guy. But Karen, who didn't do it,
I'm pleased to be a criminal defense lawyer. And I'm proud of what Hank Brennan and I did in this trial, what criminal defense lawyers do every single day in this court and in the state courts. We defend people against criminal charges, and we do the best we can. There are a lot of sacrifices.
right? So even though he definitely did it, it's on film, it's 100% Whitey. He admitted to a lot of it. It was planned. There were multiple witnesses involved in it. All of the evidence matched the crime scene, and he definitely did it. Even though this guy's still getting up here, calling the witnesses liars and saying that the jury got duped. Are you out of your goddamn mind, Hank? Damn it, Hank.
Sacrifices made by the trial team, a lot of sacrifices made by Hank's family and my family that allowed us to represent James Bulger in this trial. But for us,
great
we
fucking
feel
comment.
that
Great fucking comment. And also, drink your cranberry juice. What do you want, your period?
when we were appointed to this case, that we would do the best possible job we did. And the best possible job we could, and we feel that we did so. And we hope we made our fellow criminal defense lawyers proud, because they would have done the same thing we did.
No, they wouldn't.
Do you think the idea that Whitey was not a rat, do you think that has been received by the jury? How do you think that idea has been received? Not an informant.
It's too bad we can't hear from the jury whether they think the government proved that Jim Bulger was an informant. We feel that with all of the evidence that we presented, especially from people who formerly were FBI agents and were agents of great integrity, that we showed that the myth that James Bulger was an informant was just that, a myth without any basis, without any substance.
What's that trial for being an informant? Why was that so important to you?
It was important to us to show that he was not an informant, because if he weren't an informant, it undercut the credibility of every
Spoiler alert, he was an informant.
witness who said he was. And that's why it was equally important for us to
Spoiler alert, he agreed to wiretaps and to be in locations that were filmed purposefully so that they could use him as an informant. This is after the verdict. Like, I know there's always an auto appeal, but are you fucking kidding me? Like, you don't have to keep lying. You don't have to keep being dickheads. Like, you could just admit it. There it is. There it is. He's also ass buddies with fucking Coffindorfer's dad.
to present that at the trial.
So did the judge make an error when she didn't allow you?
Or maybe it's her. It might not even be her dad. It might be her handler, like her FBI person who like fucking mentored her. But there's all this shit on that. God damn, dude, these people.
Defense that Mr. Bulger had been granted immunity by a federal prosecutor. Is that kind of what it is now?
James Bulger has wanted to tell his story from the moment he was arrested.
That is true too. That is true, but they kept using his shit. They still used his connect. Like, they're using the intel and punishing the messenger. Or not even the messenger, I guess the middleman. They're punishing the middleman and still using the intel. That's almost like, Melissa, what does that sound like? That sounds like when someone has you do stuff for them. And then they fire you, but they keep your shit and keep using it. Isn't that fascinating? Huh. Time is a flat fucking circle.
In this trial, while it tells quite a bit about the criminal justice system and the corruptness in the Department of Justice, it doesn't begin to tell the whole story. I don't think you've heard the last word from James Bulger.
Yo, for the closing arguments, Yannetti or Jackson, whoever's doing them, should quote this. This is what they should quote. They should go, I'd like to quote a very famous person who said something that really, it's like it was written for this case. And then they should say this exactly as their closing statement.
The defense that Mr. Bulger had been granted immunity by a federal prosecutor. Is that kind of what it is now?
James Bulger has wanted to tell his story from the moment he was arrested. In this trial, while it tells quite a bit about the
Karen Reed has wanted to tell her story
criminal justice
the moment she was arrested.
System and the corruptness in the Department of Justice, it doesn't begin to tell the whole story. I don't think you've heard the last word from James Bulger. The depth of the corruption within the Department of Justice in that time, all the way to the top, is a story that should and hopefully still will be told. And so while there is a limitation in this trial on the relationship that James Bulger had with the Department of Justice, that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
On the relationship that Brian Albert and all of the witnesses had with the Department of Justice.
And so hopefully the public will have questions. I'll defer on that question.
I cannot recall.
To take an appeal. Yes.
Jamie, do you express
He
frustration
That is true.
James Bulger intends to take an appeal.
Ashley, it's crazy that you say that because me and Auntie have talked about that.
So you expressed frustration with the gag order throughout this case. And to a certain extent, you expressed frustration with the way it was being portrayed in the media. Can you comment on how you
Big
felt
fucking
that
bird.
portrayal may have in some way shaped or hindered your case?
It is.
I think
It's
the local
disgusting.
rule that prevents contact with the media and others once a trial begins is overly restrictive. That's particularly true in the federal court, where there aren't cameras in the courtroom. I wish that every citizen.
It's so good. I watched it so many times. I watched this one like probably a week ago, and it didn't sink in until I was looking at old trial footage. And then I was like, wait, go back. And then I went back and I was like, oh my God. Like, also the application, and that was also because I was like, is it Carney? Like, that's funny. And then the Weeks, when I saw that Weeks was one of the witnesses, and I was like, wait, that's the guy that Homeboy talks about who throws him off to Jersey. He fucking runs him out, and then UFC starts. Dana White. There's even UFC connections here. It's fucking crazy.
Person who wanted to would have been able to watch this trial on television or on an iPad or on a laptop. They would have seen things that would educate them about the federal government, that would amaze them, shock them,
So this is the part where they're talking about Turtle Boy.
appall them, and just make them realize there has to be changes. When the cameras can't be in the courtroom, then it's incumbent upon lawyers to be able to come in front of the courthouse and speak on behalf of their client. It's very frustrating, and I hope that the rule will be changed.
Jay, if you could draw on less about informants, what might that be? Include less about informants.
I think the use of informants is a dangerous practice. The government will offer people, in essence, bribes, not by money, but by something more valuable.
You hear that, Jen Coffin?
Freedom. And if they offer enough freedom to certain witnesses, I guarantee they will say anything, whether it's the truth or not the truth.
I think it's more about You Can't See Me for Brennan. Like, he's fucking wild, dude. Yeah, I did see some of that. So did Vince at Joni's.
And is it your client's intent that you get that
The criminal forfeiture laws allow the government to seize items that were obtained or maintained by illegal proceeds. Pure gifts to the defendant, as this ring was, are not forfeitable by a criminal forfeiture action. So the government didn't even pursue it.
How can a man who facilitated and benefited from corruption his whole lifetime now be glad to see?
I think at the end of a person's life, when people think he is the only bad person in the courtroom, it's important to show that that's not true, and that he was allowed to be the leader of the organized crime in Boston for 25 years because law enforcement was corrupt. At this point in his life, he'd prefer to have the truth come.
They should have stopped him from killing all those people. If they were good cops, why did he kill people for so long? What a dumb fucking excuse.
Out rather than just rely on a myth.
That has nothing to do with the trial. I'm out of metaphor zone right now. I am out of metaphor zone. I am just listening to this guy spew lies.
So why not testify to that? If his other goal was to expose government corruption, and one way to do it was to testify and tell all, why not do that?
He didn't testify because
Yeah, I know. He talks a lot.
the judge, at the insistence of the prosecutors, would not allow him to present his defense. If you're charged with a criminal act and you have a defense, such as that you acted in shooting someone because you were acting in self-defense, and a judge says to you, you can say you shot the person, but you cannot say you did it in self-defense and you didn't think the person was you thought the person was actually going to kill you if you didn't kill him, and you can't say you were in fear, and that's why you acted. All you can say is you shot him. What defendant in his right mind?
Wow. How interesting. How interesting how they're leaving out third-party defense and a lot of other things they're withholding from the defense that she should be allowed to present. That's very interesting. Instead, they're going after her fucking dad's phone. Thank goodness it was like the only thing Judge Bev made a good call on.
Would take the stand in that kind of trial.
And I don't mean Judge Bev called on Karen's phone. I meant I'm tired.
Well, that's the situation Jim felt he was in, and that's why he did not take the stand. Had that ruling been different, this trial might still be going.
Hadn't he been allowed to lie?
I'm not at liberty to say because at this time
I cannot
it's
recall.
under seal. Because it's important for the next person coming down the line, if he has or she has an immunity defense, that the Court of Appeals state with certainty he or she can present that defense to jurors.
You know, I could go off on this. Because here's the thing. And yes, we're going to watch it all the way to the end, Lee. I know. Brennan does come back. These guys tag team back and forth like they're the fucking Legion of Doom. We're good. We're going to see them both. We're going to watch it to the end. But Dumpster Juice makes a very good point, as Dumpster Juice does so often. I always refer to The Departed when I'm talking about this because I have been watching it a lot recently. But it is fascinating. A lot of people look at that and it's the characters are so beloved and, you know, everybody fucking loves Mark Wahlberg. And it's just, it's Leo. It's going to be good, right? But the thing is, when you watch it, even though it is a brutal movie and there is a lot of fucked up shit, there's so much that they left out about Whitey. If you look up the Lady of the Dunes case, which a lot of people believe is Whitey, in fact, I'm pretty sure that they're very close to it. They may have already announced that. I don't know. I need to check on that. But Whitey did a lot of fucked up things. And some of them we should go over. We should go over because I think in order for the movie to not get like an NC-17 rating, they can't show everything he did. But name the darkest moment in Sopranos history and times that by 100. Whitey was a huge piece of shit. Think the Opie scene in Sons of Anarchy. Think Tig's daughter dying in a pit in Sons of Anarchy. That's like nickel and dime pony shit to Whitey Bulger's people. They did serial killer shit. They did dark, fucked up shit, long, torturous deaths. They were akin, in my opinion, to cartel, like the way they operated. And it's not just that, like he would have that Christopher Adriana scene. Oh, he did shit like that. But the thing is, he didn't send two guys to kill Adriana in the woods. He would have made Christopher do it in front of him and then pull her teeth out. Whitey was a piece of shit.
Mr. Bulger knew as soon as he was arrested that he was going to die behind the walls of a prison or on a gurney getting injected with a chemical that would kill him. This trial has never been about Jim Bulger being set free and coming out of this courthouse. I want to also comment on the fact that we're taking an appeal. This was an extraordinarily difficult trial for a number of people, including Judge Casper. I think she did an excellent job overseeing this trial. And I say that not because she's young or new to the bench. I don't put any qualifier on her. Judge Casper did an outstanding job facing the challenges of this trial. Hank and I disagree with some of her rulings. Well, we've never had a trial where we haven't disagreed with some rulings of the judge. But given the unusual events that occurred at this trial, outbursts by our client, statements by witnesses, even an outburst by someone in the audience.
I want to talk about this. This is a great question. And I'm sorry I'm pausing it, but I have a question about this question. Do you think Ken Berkowitz dying will affect the next trial? Do you think, this is my question, do you think that it will force them to open the door for the federal indictments this time? Or the federal grand jury? Do you remember? Because I believe, I would love to ask Melanie this, if anybody knows. I'm curious about that. That's the first thing I thought was, oh shit, they're going to have to go to the feds, because if they're not rolling over statements from the prior trial, right? And even if they are, he didn't testify. So the statements from the grand jury would have to come in. And didn't they talk to him for that? I thought they did. I could be wrong. I don't know. But if they did, would they be relying on those statements, therefore, or opening the door to the federal shit? So therefore, would Hank likely not want to call Berkowitz? Right? Because he's dead, but also, like, even if he was alive, he'd not want to now, because in order to put in any statements from Ken, would he have to go back and open the door for the federal shit? So is he just going to leave that out? And if so, is he going to have to leave out the taillight stuff? I think he wasn't called because he was sick, right? And so instead of, they just kind of glazed over it. Do you know what I mean? Like, they relied on the statements of people who are there. Yeah, he had cancer. He was sick, so they wouldn't let him in. But I believe Lally was such a shitty prosecutor, he just avoided it. But Hank can't do that, because now we have someone on the stand from the last trial who could easily come back who's like, I broke it and I shattered it in my hands trying to pull it out while it was in the Sally port. They're definitely going to get ahead of that. So, like, if Berkowitz is dead, are they going to have to rely on statements he made the only other time he spoke? And wouldn't that have been to the federal grand jury? And if he didn't speak to the federal grand jury, then how the fuck did any of it come into trial at all? How can they even say that he spotted the fucking shit? Let's keep going.
You can go your entire career as a judge and never face that. Judge Casper not only was always super well prepared for the trial, always very courteous and professional with counsel, but her temperament was one that every lawyer can admire. She was an outstanding judge to handle this case, and we're glad she was assigned it.
If James Bulger knew that it was never about getting freed, what was it the trial about for him?
The trial for him, I'll let Mr. Brennan say.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Jay Carney said the trial was never about him getting free. He knew he was going to die behind the walls of a prison or on a gurney. So if it wasn't about getting free, what was the trial for him?
Our objective in this trial when we started was transparency and to try to find the truth. And Jay Carney and I discussed strategy weekend after weekend, and we knew coming into the trial it was important. It was important for the jury. It was important for the community. It was important for the public to know how the federal government operated during that time and how they're operating today.
This is the most important part of the whole video. Pay attention. pretend he's talking about Karen Reed and he's on Yannetti's side.
So when we approached this case, it was important for us to get as much information to the public and to the jury as we could to demonstrate what happened, why it happened, and ultimately who is responsible. We mentioned that there's a ledger, accountability. Accountability doesn't come down to one person. Accountability is everybody who had a hand or a role in the carnage that lay behind what happened during that period of time. Jay Carney and I talked regularly. We felt the presence of families and victims and people left behind. And it was a unique opportunity that we could cross-examine witnesses, attack the untruths, and to be as bold as we could during this case to get answers for people that have deserved answers for decades. People who have been deprived of the answers about what happened to their loved ones and why it's happened. Answers to who is accountable and who's responsible. That's why we called members of the FBI that the government chose not to call. People we had never even spoken to before, to get them on the stand and try to find out answers. That's why when we cross-examined witnesses, we didn't shy away from areas we wanted to know. We knew the community wanted to know, and we knew that many of the victims' families had to know. And we did our best.
I mean, aside from just taking the plurals and making them singular, this is a perfect argument that Yannetti could make today. He could quote this man to himself in the closing arguments and fucking slay. That's how much of a hypocrite Hank is being. I'm going back. That was incredible. Again, imagine he's talking about Karen and he is Yannetti.
Who had a hand or a role in the carnage that lay behind what happened during that period of time. Jay Carney and I talked regularly. We felt the presence of families and victims and people left behind. And it was a unique opportunity that we could cross-examine witnesses, attack the untruths, and to be as bold as we could during this case to get answers for people that have deserved answers for decades. People who have been deprived of the answers about what happened to their loved ones and why it's happened. Answers to who is accountable and who's responsible. That's why we called members of the FBI that the government chose not to call. People we had never even spoken to before, to get them on the stand and try to find out answers. That's why when we cross-examined witnesses, we didn't shy away.
That's my favorite part. Honestly, I know it's so insignificant, but that's why we chose to call members of the FBI that the government chose not to call. Are you fucking kidding me right now? Dead ass, Hank. Dead ass. Great point, Hank. This is fucking wild. Galen, you know what else is wild? It's my girl. I am going to be hitting you up soon. I keep saying that, but I mean it this time. I mean it. I got to get my shit together. I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you about these dogs. These dogs is out. Galen is a fucking bad ace, and we're going to have her on. We're going to talk to her about sniffy dogs and why Hugin can't be one, because he'll just eat the bones. Amen, Dumpster. Thank you so much, by the way, Galen, gifting 10 OP memberships. I appreciate it. Isn't it wild? Isn't it wild? Yeah, and they were allowed to say they were FBI. That's a good point. But isn't it crazy how similar it is? Isn't it crazy how similar it is? Let's go back again. What is it that take every statement that he says and the part where you put the period on the end of the sentence and apply it to Karen's case. Imagine it's in Yannetti's closing arguments, and oh my fucking God. And the more similar it is, the more of a hypocrite. The more of a hypocrite this man is right here. Thank you, Galen. Thank you, Paul.
We approached this case, it was important for us to get as much information to the public and to the jury as we could to demonstrate what happened, why it happened, and ultimately who is responsible. We mentioned that there's a ledger, accountability. Accountability doesn't come down to one person. Accountability is everybody who had a hand or a role in the carnage that lay behind what happened during that period of time.
And this is why I'm playing it over and over again, because I want people to come to this realization if they don't get it yet. But Joe Nanner steps in and, like a fucking boss, like the oldest daughter, explains it for everyone. Listen, young lady, you answered the question before I got to it, but congratulations. You are 100% correct, and you are very astute, Joe Nanners. The most important part would have been the most important to the jury, and that was not able to come out. She's talking about the FBI part. That's why it's so fucking crazy that he's saying this shit. Because he's sitting here saying we called FBI fucking peeps. We called, what does she say? The ARCA guys. And the government wouldn't even fucking call them. Karen's case, what makes this even more absurd? Imagine if they didn't let Hanky back then during Bulger's trial say those were FBI fucking guys. Imagine the shitstorm. He's speaking from a place of luck right here. He has kicked the feet out from under Yannetti, Jackson, and Karen. So has Judge Bev. He should not be afraid of the FBI guys. They should enjoy that. Why doesn't Coffindoffer trust the FBI guys? And yet, why is she in those emails with Morrissey? Why is the FBI the fucking Babadook? Why is the FBI John Cena? Why are we not allowed to see it? Yes, they were, AJ. They absolutely were. They absolutely were. I mean, the whole trial was based around the fact that the government was corrupt and working with them and had an informant. It's really fucking crazy. Every other professional witness got to state their credentials. Where do you work? Why do you work there? I know it's crazy, right? It is a good point. Think, like, why are people not looking back at this precedent of Hank saying, you know, luckily we get to do this, but my next question is, why didn't the government trust it? Hey, good fucking point. Let's apply exactly what you said to Karen's case and somebody say that in the courtroom. What the fuck?
Jay Carney and I talked regularly. We felt the presence of families and victims and people left behind. And it was a unique opportunity that we could cross-examine witnesses, attack the untruths, and to be as bold as we could during this case to get answers for people that have deserved answers for decades. People who have been deprived of the answers about what happened to their loved ones and why it's happened. Answers to who is accountable and who's responsible. That's why we called members of the FBI that the government chose not to call. People we had never even spoken to before, to get them on the stand and try to find out answers. That's why when we cross-examined witnesses, we didn't shy away from areas. We wanted to know, we knew the community wanted to know, and we knew that many of the victims' families had to know. And we did our best. At many points, we were stopped over and over again. We were prevented from bringing out information that our members of the public, our citizens, are entitled to know. And so that's why we...
Oh my God. What was that? Now, here's where we get to the Turtle Boy part again, which I feel you, Trey. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Shy away from areas. We wanted to know, we knew the community wanted to know, and we knew that many of the victims' families had to know.
Yeah, and this actually, interesting you bring that up. So in Richard Allen's trial, who you guys, for those of you who don't watch, I absolutely agree. Richard Allen fucking did it. But what was interesting is they had to get, and Turbo talks about this on her channel. She talked to me about it. They had to get a last minute expert on the stand to discuss one portion of the trial, the prosecution, because the defense essentially brought in something that was not supposed to be brought in, and there was question about it. And then Judge Gull, I believed, opened the door for something, and they allowed more evidence in. And so last minute, there had to be a guy pop in who had a very special, like very specific, it might have even been, was it the gun? It was something very specific that was not a big deal, but they brought it in just to cover their ass. And it was a guy that they just met that day. And they're like, get over here. Apparently, this is common in some trials, but it is kind of odd. And they experience shit like that. You have to, like, and again, in Karen's case, it's like, well, we have 2 weeks to go over all this discovery. And what if we have to pull in a new witness? Very interesting, the shit he's bringing up.
But during this case,
It's all applicable, and it's insane.
to get answers for people that have deserved answers for decades. People who have been deprived of the answers about what happened to their loved ones and why it's happened. Answers to who is accountable and who's responsible. That's why we called members of the FBI that the government chose not to call. People we had never even spoken to before, to get them on the stand and try to find out answers. That's why when we cross-examined witnesses, we didn't shy away from areas. We wanted to know. We knew the community wanted to know. And we knew that many of the victims' families had to know. And we did our best. At many points, we were stopped over and over again. We were prevented from bringing out information that our members of the public, our citizens, are entitled to know. And so that's why we say today, really, for us, is the first step. There's another chapter to be written. There's more accountability. And our government needs to answer the hard questions that have been raised by this case. There are answers that are needed by the families and the public, that the families and the public need to keep pushing for. And so we've tried our best.
Yep.
And we'll keep trying the best we can. And now it's time for the public to try as well.
No. And speaking for myself, I will take one further question by someone who has not asked one yet. Officer?
Officer.
Do you have a question, sir?
Trying to be funny, motherfucker.
You've had a question. Yes.
Did you have a comment about that?
No. All right, I'll give one other bonus question.
A bonus.
Sorry, you've had your question.
Has it been worth it, Jay?
Has it been worth it? I've never said no to a judge when I've been asked to represent someone by court appointment. And I don't regret any of them in my entire career.
So you're ready for the appeal?
Ready for the appeal. Well, the lead issue on appeal will be the ruling that prevented him from presenting the immunity defense to a jury. Was that ruling correct? Look how different the trial would have been if that ruling had not been made. We would have had a number of very interesting witnesses called by the defense.
You know, you could replace immunity defense with maybe 4 or 5 things in the Karen Ray trial, and this would also make sense and be a great fucking point, in my opinion. We're almost done. I'm gonna let him finish up, and then I do have some more shit on deck. I don't know how down you guys are to go through it, but we'll see.
All right, folks, let me offer my congratulations to you as well. I know it's been hot out here day after day. Some days it felt like a monsoon, but you did your job. And as a firm believer in the First Amendment, I thank each and every one of you for making the First Amendment a real thing for us in the Boston and community and elsewhere. You did a great job.
It's fascinating too,
All right. Well,
because
over the course of
we watched this already. It's fascinating too because so rarely do you see anybody in Karen's trial going out and speaking like that other than Yannetti and Jackson with the "we ain't got no quit," right? It's what you do. You defend your client to the public and in the court. What was fascinating to me is out of all the trials in Boston, hell, even Ellis, I don't think any of them had a 500, was it 500 yards? Someone corrected Dade. They're a little tired. What was it? 500 yards, 500 feet from the courthouse? They weren't allowed to be. And there couldn't be. And that's another thing is like, in this case, a cop was killed, right? So that's supposed to be extra fucking special. Get the cops And the people, it's very like weird how she's separating everything. And by she, I mean Beth. Like that was a first, right? And like this courtroom didn't have fucking Wi-Fi. The fans were fucked up. She was constantly threatening people with the AC. That felt like mistrial. Like you can't threaten people with air conditioning. You can't force people in the heat of summer. You can't sit there and go, okay, do you want facts or do you want the AC? The fuck? That felt kind of biased to Karen. That felt like assault. Just saying. All right. I do have some more shit. This one's just kind of weird. There's 2 or 3 that I have on deck that they're 2 minutes long. They're 1 minute long. They're just little snippets of Brennan doing Brennan shit. Because I thought, he's a little sneaky, snaky guy. What shit can I pull of him that we can learn from? A little more precedent. Again, you guys are right. He talks a lot. He does. He puts on that extra sauce. The fraudacity of this bitch. I know. No police in uniform in the courtroom. It would have been funny if they were like, you're not allowed to dress like a mobster. No Adidas tracksuits in the courtroom. That would have been so funny. Yeah, was it? I bet it was Judge Beverly Cannelloni. God damn it. Always dishing out bologna. Judge Cannoni over here folding bologna. Yeah, you are thinking of the 10 Commandments again. You do that. You get biblical at night. She has a couple of drinks. She gets a little Bible friendly. Have you guys ever met someone like that where they get drunk and they get religious? I don't even know if Melissa's drunk. I just assume she always is because she says crazy shit. And it's very funny. But do you ever do that? You ever know anybody who gets like fucked up and they're just like, praise Jesus. And then they get like, you know, in Ecclesiastes and they start telling you about Job. They're like, I got a boil up my leg. It's like, dude, stop. They could have figured out the jury seating in that month. They didn't want to. Shit. The whole, like, having a cop on the jury was a fucking insane choice. Like, what? Pop has a variety of, I have many herbs on the deck. If you kids would like a slithery little snake, I love that fucking video. You want half the jury unable to see the witnesses to testify? Yeah. Get behind them. You could see their caboose. We don't want you to make eye contact. We want you to make cake contact. Big Brennan statements need to be pushed. I'll do my part. Push the shit out of this shit. People should see what this guy is saying now and what he said then. And who he said it about is big. Because some people take the wrong shit from this. Like, some people look at this and they're like, are you saying Karen is as bad as Whitey? No, shittard. Pay attention. No, I'm saying that this lawyer once argued the exact opposite. And at other times argued exactly what Yannetti should. Basically, yeah, he's arguing the exact opposite of what he's saying now. But he at once advocated for the exact type of things the defense for Karen is advocating for. And he fucking made a big show of it. He's a fucking hypocrite. He's hypocrite Hank. Is it Hankocrit or hypocrite Hank? Hank the Hippocratic, nope, not Hippocratic Oath. That's a different Hippocratic hippo. Well, could you say Hank the Hypocrite Hicko? Wait, Hank the Hypocrite. And it's a hippo with glasses. Shirt. That's the merch. No velour allowed or no valor. Also, thank you, Aaron, for the $10 and for pushing the propaganda. Actually, it's not propaganda. It's the gay agenda. Nope, it's not that either. What is it? Just the truth, right? Because it's the truth. He said that shit. We have it on video. It's going to feel weird when he has to argue against it. That's when we blast it. That's when we blast those dossiers real hard. He's Morrissey's little tool. He's more, and if you ask Chat GPT questions about the Karen Reed trial, it is very funny. I highly recommend you do that. You think it's more of a Texas thing? Uh-oh, my uncle gets super religious. Yeah. That's what happens in Texas. You get drunk and you're like, what if there's a God? Is he watching me? Can he see what I do at night? Have a cop on the jury, but can't refer to Officer John O'Keefe by his respected title. Fair enough. Fair enough. Truth. The 10 condiments. There's only one ranch dressing. Walk among the tombstones. Are you from Texas? Because that's some Texas shit to say. I'm not drunk, but give me 15 minutes. I won many Bible quiz team meets. Oh, I know you did. Poor thing. Fuck. Melissa, you need to write a book. She's had a wild life. Wild life. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and play you this shit. There's like 3 short videos. Then I'm going to go. God bless you all. Thank you so much for being here. Clip it, clip it, clip it. Put it out. Do whatever you want with it. Exploit me, extort me. I don't care. Just have a fun time. As long as you're having a good time and you're not showing me your feet. Okay? God bless. Let's watch him being a little hypocritic Hank. Hypocrite Hank. Hank, the hypocrite. There you go. Hank, the hypocrite henchman. We'll figure it out. We'll get there. We'll get there. We'll table it. We'll talk about it at the next board meeting. Here we go. Yes, he was. Always. No Mood Dang.
Read the case
Mood Dang out of this. Don't you fucking bring Mood Dang into this.
of notorious Boston crime boss Whitey Bulger back in a Boston courtroom today. His lawyers fighting to get the convicted killer a new trial. News Center 5's Todd Kaskiewicz is live in South Boston. Todd?
Erica, there's really no way of knowing if Bulger's unrestricted testimony would have made a difference to the jury that convicted him of multiple murders and other crimes. But his defense attorneys argue he should have been able to say anything that would have helped his case. And now the defense is asking for a new trial.
We had a client who was willing to take the stand, implicate himself, and for some reason the government didn't want him to testify.
Attorney Hank Brennan was part of the team that defended former mob boss James Whitey Bulger in the 2013 trial that Bulger called a sham. Brennan spoke to us this morning after arguing to the Court of Appeals that his client did not get a fair trial, in part because Bulger would not have been allowed to talk about an immunity deal if he testified.
An accused, any accused, not just James Bulger, has a right to take the stand and talk about his relationship with people, even if it includes law enforcement people, even if it includes members of the Department of Justice.
Attorney Brian Kelly was part of the prosecution team. He's now in private practice, but attended the hearing this morning.
He didn't want to testify because he would have been cross-examined for days. He chose not to, and now he's trying to pretend it was some sort of legal error, which it was not.
Stephen Davis was also in court this morning. His sister Deborah was allegedly killed by Bulger, though the jury came back with no finding for her murder.
All the victim's family didn't get a fair trial. You know, we're the ones that lost. I mean, the only thing I want to hear from him or anything to do with him is the closing of his casket.
Bulger was not in court today. He's in federal prison in Arizona. The First Circuit Court of Appeals will hand down its ruling at a later date. Reporting live outside federal court in South Boston, Todd Kaskiewicz, WCPB News Center 5.
The star witness in the trial of reputed Boston mob boss James Whitey Bulger was back on the stand for a 5th day. The defense focused on Stephen the Rifleman Flemy's role as an FBI informant and inconsistent testimony. Our Alicia Palumbo is at the Moakley Courthouse.
There were several testy exchanges between Stephen the Rifleman Flemmy and defense attorney Hank Brennan during cross-examination in Flemy's 5th day on the witness stand. More heated exchanges between government witness Stephen the Rifleman Flemmy and James Whitey Bulger's defense attorney Hank Brennan as Flemmy takes the stand for a 5th day in his former partner's murder trial. When asked about the exchange of information between informants like Flemmy and FBI agents like John Connolly, Flemmy insisted it was quid pro quo. Brennan shot back, so quid pro quo is just Latin for the term rat? As Flemmy got flustered, Brennan kept pressing him, saying, "You didn't like that word, did you?" His voice rising and anger clearly escalating, Flemmy shot a finger in the direction of Bulger and shouted, "I don't think Mr. Bulger likes it either." Bulger whipped his head around in Flemmy's direction, but contained any outbursts that might have been burning inside him. Flemmy testified plenty Wednesday about an immunity deal both he and Bulger have claimed they had, protecting them from prosecution. Flemmy admitted it was...
I'm sorry, but doesn't that sound like some Jen McCabe shit? Go back. This sounds so Jen McCabean. Why does it remind me of that? It's fucking wild.
Him saying, "You didn't like that word, did you?" His voice rising in anger, clearly escalating. Flemmy shot a finger in the direction of Bulger and shouted, "I don't think Mr. Bulger likes it either." Bulger whipped his head around in Flemmy's direction, but contained any outburst that might have been burning inside him. Flemmy testified plenty Wednesday about an immunity deal both he and Bulger have claimed they had, protecting them from prosecution. Flemmy admitted it was overturned on appeal in his case, and Bulger's attorneys aren't allowed to introduce it as a defense. But that didn't stop Brennan from dancing around it in his cross-examination.
At this point, Judge Casper has, it appears, closed the door on allowing the defense to call other witnesses to talk about the...
Motion to the board. When they make a movie on this, I'm going to do that shit too. I'm going to tell you guys when I think we got a moment. Want to point out this. Seller Unicorn, thank you for paying attention, hun. Sudoku eyes. Big time, dude. Big time. B, who's going to play him in the movie? Ed fucking Harris. Andy Bernard from The Office. Can you see it? Do you see the vision? Do you see the vision? Ed fucking Harris. Andy Bernard. Roo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Is that what he says? Roo-doo-doo-doo-doo. Or is that Jack Black? Andy Bernard. Fucking, what's that song he sings? I don't remember. Oh my God, dude. Like to a T. And he'd do the voice. What a fucking weirdo. He looks just like Andy. Closing time. I'm sorry.
Around it in his cross-examination.
At this point, Judge Casper has, it appears, closed
Yes,
the door
dude,
on allowing the
yes.
defense to call other witnesses to talk about the immunity defense, which Whitey claims that's his get-out-of-jail-free card.
After jurors were excused for the day, U.S. District Court Judge Denise Casper heard arguments over the admissibility of
That's
proposed
it.
defense witnesses.
That's it. Here comes trouble, dude. Here comes trouble. He could be his brother. He's fucking Andy Bernard, Big Tuna. Big Tuna, here comes trouble. When I was at Columbia, is that where he went? What does he say? Columbia? At Columbia? What was his university that he went to? It was Columbia, right? Because didn't Matt go there? Yeah. Back when it was Cornell. It was Cornell. It was another C. Back in Cornell. Big Tuna. Dude, that's what we're gonna call. Can we call Hank Brennan Big Tuna or Cornell? Can those be Hank Brennan's nicknames? Big Tuna. Do.
Witnesses.
We indicated to the judge today why we believe all 30 witnesses on our list should be allowed to testify at the trial.
Judge Casper's ruling.
Karen would be Pam. Angela would be Jen McCabe. Oh my God, this is so fun. Hold up. Put it in Discord. Talk. Oh my God. Omarosa, play this bitch here. Tiffany Pollard, dude. She looks like Tiffany Pollard. We got to put her. I Love New York, dude. And it's funny you should say that because I do have I Love New York on deck just in case. Damn, dude. Oh shit, turd. He called Jim Big Tuna. This is so funny.
On that matter could seriously shorten the length of the defense case and could be a factor in Bulger's determination of whether he'll take the stand in his own defense.
That's usually a decision that's made by the client after the conclusion of the government's case.
Flemmy continues under cross-examination on Thursday. It will be his 6th day on the stand, making him the longest witness in this case. At federal court in South Boston, Alicia Palumbo, NECN.
Whitey Bulger and a man accused of lying for the Boston Marathon bombing suspect. Both are getting lawyers on your dime.
Creed would be Whitey.
News Center 5's Kelly Tuthill is live in Boston right now. Kel?
Well, Ed, Robel Filipos' attorney is promising a strong and vigorous defense when...
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing. Guess how much fucking money we're spending on this trial? Wow. Wow. kind of like, guess how much fucking money we're spending on Karen Reed. I say we as in I'm quoting the news. I don't live there. I'm in Texas. But I'm telling you, it's fascinating how history repeats itself.
All three of Tsarnaev's friends go on trial.
You know, interesting you say that because Brian Albert, good point. Oh my God, Minnie. Pew, 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 pew. Good fucking point.
June 23rd. Robel Philippos said nothing as he arrived at federal court to tell the judge he can no longer afford his attorney and wants taxpayers to pick up the tab instead. The Cambridge man is accused of lying to authorities investigating his friend, Boston Marathon bombing suspect Johar Tsarnaev. Does that hurt your ability to prepare for defense?
Only because I know she's going to flip out if I don't point it out. Auntie Deb can play Drakkar Tsarnaev.
Does that hurt your ability to prepare for defense? Magistrate Marianne Bowler agreed to appoint Derej Demissi, but declined to appoint a second lawyer, Susan Church, because she does not think the case warrants two taxpayer-funded attorneys.
I mean, I do see where the defense is coming from. There's no such thing as a simple federal case involving a suspect who has alleged connections to the Boston Marathon bombing. The judge rejected it today.
That's Uncle Frank. So we're going to cut her hair. That's Uncle Frank.
That doesn't mean the defense can't go in 2 months from now or on the eve of trial and ask again.
Meantime, a judge did agree to allow convicted mobster James Whitey Bulger a second attorney for his appeal. Attorney James Boudreau will assist Hank Brennan due to the apparent difficulty of the appeal, according to the ruling.
When you look at the Whitey Bulger case and you consider the magnitude of the appellate issues that have to be argued, it's not surprising to see that the First Circuit looked at it and concluded that 2 lawyers were necessary.
Hello. The original HBIC is in the building. Hello. And I'm here to make my friends. You know,
sounds good.
I can be really nasty and cruel, but it's not time for that yet, right? What's up? It's my birthday.
This is me the first time I made a free Karen Reed video. And I just came to like check out who are all the creators in the free Karen Reed movement. And I'm Tiffany, of course, because bitch, we look alike according to Twitter rules. So this is me just walking into Twitter, okay? And here's what happens. This is what happens.
CIC is in the building. Hello. And I'm here to make my friends. You know,
sounds good.
I can be really nasty and cruel, but it's not time for that yet, right? What's up? It's my birthday.
It's me tweeting. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Hello, Tiffany.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm feeling very good. I'm
It's you
feeling
guys.
very celebratory. I can't believe that fucking Jenna gave me her Dolce & Gabbanas.
Her name is Gemma. With
Gemma?
M's.
Uh-oh.
Gemma.
Oops.
Yeah, Gemma. I think everyone's just upbeat and trying to figure their role out. And I like this process. Do I think it's going to stay this way? Absolutely not. Okay, well, just look that way then. Don't even fucking look at me.
I won't look at you then.
Good.
She distressed me a few days
Okay,
ago.
good. Well, your distress will be soon gone.
Distressed me.
Well, I take pride in distressing you because I have to look at my face as
This is
another
me
nomination.
actively
Okay,
tweeting.
Well, then, okay.
I've been fucked since the time I walked down those stairs. None of y'all know me. You don't know how hard it is to come from America and try to make it in here. There's just certain things and ways
This is
we
me
do
on
shit
Twitter.
differently. I'm not an open book automatically. That shit can never happen. You know, I come from things that's a little bit rougher, a little bit more just a different tone. So if you think I'm shutting myself out, you're reading me, but you're reading me wrong.
Listen to me. This is me on Twitter the last month. Okay. This is how I feel. I am Tiffany. We are all Tiffany. I love her so much. You like this? You like it when I do metaphors about what's really going on? If people want to be cryptic, let's be cryptic. But I'm using I Love New York. You're not going to get some fucking song. I'm not going to fucking make you read a riddle. I'm going to make you watch Tiffany Pollard on repeat and sometimes Hank Brennan. This is my queen.
Down those stairs. None of y'all know me. You don't know how hard it is to come from America and try to make it in here. There's just certain things and ways we do shit differently. I'm not an open book automatically. That shit can never happen. You know, I come from things that's a little bit rougher, a little bit more, just a different tone. So if you think I'm shutting myself out, you're reading me, but you're reading me wrong. You don't know how hard it is to be in this house. It's like I'm in a different world. This is like the Twilight Zone for me. I'm not trying to do that shit purposely.
This is me talking about FKR on Twitter. I'm like, listen.
But I'm just telling you, don't nobody know me in here. But you know what? It's okay, because God is my witness.
Oh,
I have
Hogan.
tried as hard as I possibly can. I've never had to get in someone's ass and just be all up under them. You
Mhm.
know, that's just not me.
Mhm.
So I'm not going to play with them. I don't want to play with them anymore. Hello, and welcome to another episode of
Yeah.
The Beast in the Big Brother House.
And this
With
is
your
me and Aunt
host,
Deb.
me, Tiffany Pollard. Okay. Go pet it, Chris. No, go introduce yourself to it.
This is Randy.
Hi, Randy. Oh, he wants to mate the next animal. I don't know what it is. No. Show's over. You can't leave me. No. So our next beautiful
Yes,
animal
Mitty.
is a albino
Mitty,
Burmese.
you could just do that now. You didn't know?
Its deadly nature,
Hun,
I
go to
will
Twitter.
now
You could just
place
do that.
My goggles on. I'm not doing this.
I done it for the spider.
I know you did, but I like snakes, but not in that size. And usually the snakes I go for are in my man's pants. No.
I don't think she's going to do it.
I can't.
It's okay. What on, Tiff?
Okay. Steve is a constrictor. What is that?
It means that it'll strangle you.